We're here with Jake, aka Fairmont, discussing his new album amongst other things. First of all, Jake, congrats on the new album.
Thank you.
We wanted to ask you, like, how does the album differ from your previous albums?
Well, one thing is, yeah, I'm singing a lot more, and I've kind of, compared to the last time around, still keep in a dance music kind of format, but actually take those and move them into like a pop kind of feel for the album, so it's like shorter songs.
Okay.
And a lot of like verse chorus kind of arrangements, and then once in a while stretching things out into like your classic dance floor kind of arrangement, but in general like cutting things down to like 3 or 4 minutes a song.
And what exactly was the thought process behind doing that? Because I know a lot of the times in this genre you see a lot of those drawn out songs starting about 6, 7, 8 minutes sometimes. So you don't really see a lot of 3 or 4 minute tracks unless it's like a radio edit or something like that.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how people react to it.
Yeah, it should be interesting.
But I guess I thought that that you could do as much as in 3 minutes as you can in 7 with these particular kinds of songs, and I just thought like it's great in a club to have these sort of drawn out moments, but actually I realized the last few years like most of the albums I like even the electronic ones are moving towards shorter songs, and techno albums that continue with the long song format. I've actually been kind of like picking a track or two, but I'm not like going back to it and listening to it again, because I might have like I don't have all day.
Yeah.
So it was just who knows what I'll do next, but it was the concept of this album anyways.
Okay. Do you have any favorite tracks on the album?
I'm partial to Old Ways, I guess. I like some of the songs that are some of the most successful moments for me are like where it's a song, it's like pop track, and there's like a real vocal sort of focus, but then it's also working like on the dance floor or something, and that I think that's sort of that track in particular sort of gets what I was trying to do with this whole thing.
Right. And looking at some of your shows in particular, we were recently at the launch party for your album here in Toronto. it's interesting that when you play, you pretty much only play live sets, whereas a lot of DJs might, you know, they play live sets, but they'll also do a DJ set or something like that. What's the thought behind purely doing the live set?
Well, that's sort of where I got started, and I've become pretty good at it, and so I think I could DJ, but I wouldn't necessarily be anything special. And when I do the live show, it really has come a long way in the last 10 years, and it's to a point that I'm really happy with it, and I'm still finding ways to challenge myself and get better every year, and so I'm really not tired of it. And with DJing, I mean, one thing is I like a lot of tracks, but I don't love a lot of tracks, and I think I would end up playing like the same songs every night. I don't know if I might be a little bit picky for to be a DJ probably.
Well, I mean, I guess it's not the worst thing, because your live shows are pretty damn impressive to see.
Thanks.
No problem, no problem. You actually recently switched over to MFR, My Favorite Robot Records.
Yeah.
Why the move?
Well, they live in Toronto.
Yeah.
Which is great, and super nice guys. So it wasn't so much about not doing it somewhere else as about doing it with them, and I just became really good friends with them and feel a really good connection. They're like run a really tight ship, so
yeah, this
I'm
is
really
true.
happy. I'm really happy.
Yeah, they're doing some great things these days. And do you find musically you guys are you're on the same level as well?
Yeah, I mean, as much as you can hope for, right? Like everybody's has their own thing, and it's just a matter of overlap. And definitely, we're into some of the same stuff that's happening at the moment, and it's just a really positive move so far.
We also know that you're heading out on tour pretty soon. Can you tell us more about the tour? What can we expect?
Yeah, it's a little bit grueling, but I'm looking forward to it. So I take off tomorrow, and I'll be in Europe for about 2 months,
oh, wow.
and then back for a bit over Christmas, and then back again. And it looks like till the summer it'll be pretty nuts. Mostly in Europe, and then a couple of quick trips elsewhere, but it's gonna be good. A little tiring, but I'm excited.
You're based out of both Berlin and Toronto, two very different cities, both musically and culturally. Talk to us about that a little bit. What's it like living in both Toronto and Berlin, and why have you decided to sort of be based out of both locations?
Well, a lot of friends that I came up with that were from over here, but then got more success over there, like did the real move thing, and for me that just wasn't ever an option. I know I'll settle in Toronto. It's still where I'm consider my home, and I haven't. I grew up like downtown, so it was never really an option. Like I didn't even consider really moving completely. That being said, I'm with so much of my gigs being in Europe, I'm actually over there more than I'm here, right. Which is nice. I love playing, and I love seeing different places. At the same time, I look forward to the next stage of my life where I'll be here more. I don't need to be out of this stage, but I definitely, one thing I miss is being home more. So that will be nice. Well,
that's pretty good for Toronto, I gotta say. And how do you feel about the music scene here, where it's come, and where do you feel it's going?
I think things are really picking up. I mean, I've probably been saying that for a long time. And that being said, I don't necessarily have my ear to the ground in Toronto that much, because when I come here, I continue to work on music, and I continue working like in terms of like corresponding and stuff. But I kind of try to leave like music a little bit out of my brain, because it's often just like 2 or 3 weeks, and I like to kind of keep my two worlds kind of separate. Yeah. So I'm not going in it that much when I'm here, and I'm more just like visiting with old friends who may or may not even be involved at all with electronic music or music at all. And so yeah, it's quite different lives that I lead in both places.
I think it's pretty easy to tell throughout this interview that you have a pretty distinct identity, your own person outside of Fairmont. Let me ask you, what does the phrase "way of acting" mean to you?
I guess off the bat, it would be about staying true to yourself. So in this business, you meet a lot of people that are in fact acting, and getting lost in and coming into it for, little bits of micro fame, and then getting lost in that. And I guess to me, staying true to yourself and being real, something like that.
And hopefully that was pun intended, but that's exactly what we're all about here at Way of Acting, is just staying true, keeping it real, and bringing the best in music and culture together. So thanks a lot, and we look forward to seeing more of you in the future.
Awesome.
That's Jake, aka Fairmont, with Way of Acting.